is
Oh, yeah.
Fitzy and
Sweet as.
Whipper.
Happy Thursday, guys. Welcome to the Fitzy and Whipper podcast. Hopefully tonight is the night that you get a phone call that says that you're $160 million richer.
Could you imagine?
Oh.
Do you know, I never answer my phone if I don't know the number.
Mate.
So I probably wouldn't answer it. I'm just talking to myself. Who's that?
Hey, Whip, it's Fitzy.
How are you,
mate, I just want to give you the heads up of $160 million.
Great.
Sayonara,
Oh, sorry, I'll just jump in there. Sayonara for good.
friend.
Yeah.
Sorry about that first one.
So you're not coming in tomorrow if you win?
No, I'm out.
That's disappointing
I'm out,
because I was
mate.
going to share my half with you, but you've set the tone, you've set the rules, so that's fine. If I win, you get nothing. Sayonara.
The Fitzy and Whipper podcast.
Things are expensive, mate. Life's expensive. Then when you hear about 160 million Powerball, your mind runs. Inflation. I just won 160 mil.
Cost of living.
Tell me about it.
Cost of partying, if you know what I mean.
No, I don't.
160 mil.
You won't see me.
Jump onto a private jet, guys. We are
Bang.
off to Broken Hill.
Broken Hill.
That's all I could get.
I bought a pub. In fact, I bought Broken Hill. How did you do that? One Powerball. It's as easy as that.
Let's go there and break the hill again, if you know what I mean.
You're not wrong, mate. You are not wrong. Think of the boat and the racehorses you could buy.
Classic Lotto talk.
Last week, of course, a jackpotted from 100 million. Great to see one bloke. He was rehearsing what he was going to do if he won the 100 million last week. This was him just going through the steps of what he would say to his work colleagues when he arrived.
As you may have noticed, as I pulled into the car park today in the Lamborghini Aventador, I have won $100 million from last night's Powerball. So if I could have your attention, I would just like to say, kiss my mother.
Awesome.
We also had to
Awesome.
beep that out a little bit because
You wouldn't tell anyone. I'm sorry.
I
Would
agree.
you can't, because that is, I mean, a couple of mil, you could probably tell a few of your friends, but you're winning 100 to 160 mil. I tell you right now that people will come after you hard if you've won that much money.
I think it would be impossible to hide.
Yes.
I mean, people will find out. You're going to do something with the money, unless you just live off the interest.
No, but you'd want to, wouldn't you want to do stuff like
Yeah.
family holiday, everybody get on the jet,
Big
mum, dad,
time.
everyone get on at that point they're going, yep, something sus is.
Do you know what I
really
would do,
up.
mate?
Yeah, what's he selling?
I would just chase the biggest surf breaks from all over the world.
So would I,
I
man.
wouldn't go near,
You know me.
I wouldn't go near a winter ever again, and I would film it. I'd document it, and I would call it Endless Summer.
Fitzy's Endless Summer.
Yeah.
What sort of surfboard
It's
would
never
you
been
use?
done before, and I
Yeah.
would do it.
What surfboard would you
Come
use,
for
man?
the ride, man.
Oh, gee.
Grab your thruster.
What a waste of 160 mil you would be.
Yeah,
You don't
of
even
course.
surf.
You don't even surf, Sarah. You don't know what it's like out there.
No,
in
I
the-
don't.
In the
Neither do
green
you.
room,
Barely
man.
swim.
You don't know what you're talking about. You know what I'm fascinated by, and we were talking about this off air, Says, because you were looking to buy a ticket at the Lott, that when you buy a ticket online, that means they've got their details. So if you do win, it's a case that someone will call you and say, hey, got some good news.
Yeah.
Imagine being the person putting in that call. His name's James Eddie from the Lott. Hello, buddy.
Hey guys, how you going?
James, what a gig.
How did you snag it, James? How did you snag that job in the company?
Yeah, it was one of those things where they went out to the whole of Australia, and it was almost like, best first in, best dressed, and I just happened to be like, no, you got to go through a bit of a process, mate, bit of media work and things like that, and then of course you get that lucky opportunity to give a few people a phone call and change their lives.
Do you know what I do visualise that all your job is, right, once a week, is that you come in on a Friday
And make a phone call.
and make one phone call. Like, that's your job.
Yep, it's a big red phone that you pick up, punch in the number, tell them they've won, and then James goes home.
Knock off. Boys, that's me done. Well done. See you later. Have a good one.
And what is the reaction, James? Like, how do you tell them firstly? Let's role play. Can we role play?
Yeah, let's role play.
All right, I'll pick up the phone. Hello, Whipper speaking.
Whipper. Mate, James from the Lott, how you going?
James, you dirty dog. What's going on?
You don't know him.
Oh, sorry, of course.
You don't know him. You've only just met him. You've never met him in your
Oh,
life.
James, I don't think I know you.
No, you don't. But I'm giving you a call with some pretty incredible news. You've got 5-10 minutes to talk to me.
James, I've got 3 kids, mate. It's dinner time. This needs to be important. What's going on?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, it's important. You've won $160 million with us.
Oh, get stuffed. Oh, which radio station's behind this? Who's setting
It's
me up?
a
This is a
Fitzy
prank.
stitchy, mate. You've been dobbed in by your dad, sucked in.
Mate, when I get home, oh, God, who set me up? I'm going to kill them. Okay, so, and what are the reactions that you get, James?
Yeah, reactions just like that. We get a lot of winners who sit there and are just in disbelief for a long time. They're going, mate, is this a scam? Is it a joke? You know, who's put you up to this? But we go through a bit of a process, make sure they know that we are who we are and we are calling from the lot.
Wow.
And once we get through that, you know, I think they do start to believe it and they start to think about, oh, my God, what can I do with these millions? You know, we haven't spoken with a $160 million winner yet. Hopefully it could be tonight. Who knows? But I've spoken with some big winners, you know, $30, $40 million.
Wow.
And, yeah, it's pretty incredible. I mean, I'd like to say that it's just as good as winning that amount.
Yes.
But it's not, is it?
No, but it's
It's definitely not.
What is it? The law in Australia is different to America, isn't it? Like you can remain anonymous over here, but there's certain lottos over there where it has to go public, doesn't it, James?
Yeah, correct. Over here, it's all about sort of protecting people's privacy, and that's what one of our main focuses is. We do like to put out nondescript sort of media releases and sort of speak about what the winner would like to do, how they react. And a lot of winners are really open to that. They really do enjoy sort of saying, yeah, that's fine. You know, as you said, it can be a broken hill man who's won $10 million. This is what he plans to do. He's going to share with his family and chase a never-ending summer, if that's what you're into.
Yep.
I don't know.
Yep.
But yeah, no, a lot of the time, mate, we just keep it anonymous and let them go about their lives and live it to the best.
James, a lot of talk that if you buy your ticket in store at the news agency compared to online, you have a better chance of winning. Any truth in that?
No truth in that. It's a game of chance. All those Powerball numbers have an equal chance of being drawn out of the barrel, as do the Powerball numbers.
So how many tickets do you think you'll sell tonight for 160 mil?
Mate, we're looking at half of Australian adults are going to have an entry into this draw tonight.
So about 10 million?
James, tomorrow you're making that call tomorrow, aren't you?
Yeah, when do you make the call?
It could be tonight, immediately after the draw. So again,
so
if
overtime.
It's a registered entry. You know, if you bought it online or if you've registered to an online account or a player card, we'll have your details straight away. And as soon as the draw's over, we're going to be on the phone and letting these people know. If there's a couple of them, who knows? But if it's just one and they become the biggest winner in lottery's history, we'll be letting them know they've won $160 million.
James, did you hear about the Philippines one where 417 people won Division 1? Is that a little bit dodgy?
How much was Division 1 when they take home?
That's the thing, though. When you got 160 mil, right, and you got so many people buying tickets, you know, if there's 20 Division 1 winners and the money is split up, now that's some serious overtime for you, isn't it, James? You've got to stay there and make all those calls.
It'll be a long night, but look, the odds of winning Powerball with one single game entry is 1 in 134 million. So if we found 20 of them, then yeah, it'd be a pretty incredible night.
Well, James, in the article here that I'm holding up, it says the most frequent or lucky numbers are 17, 9, 2, 25 and 19 for the Powerball.
Load of crap. Absolute load of crap.
How
They're
dare
the hot
you.
numbers that we've seen drawn out recently. But as happened last week in last week's draw, there are a few hot numbers and a few cold numbers that came out as well. So it just goes to show it doesn't really matter what the hot and cold numbers are. It's just about what's drawn out on the night. And
Do you know what? If I was a mate of yours, James, and it was like Thursday night and you rang me, I'd be so nervous. I didn't win. Oh, you just want to see what I'm up to on the weekend. Sorry, I assumed you might be calling for work reasons. Nah, bugger it. See you on Saturday night.
thinking about calling my parents or my partner's parents tonight, just saying, oh, how are you going? Seeing to bed?
How you feel? Just ringing to inform you that you only got 3 numbers.
Damn.
No, have a great night, James. It'll be brilliant tonight. You are changing somebody's life. If it goes off, if it doesn't go off, it's a jackpot. What does it go up to, James?
No, that's still in the works. But it's going to be big, that's for sure.
Over the 200 mark, yeah?
Well, it could be.
It could be.
Stay tuned. We'll have a chat next week and maybe we can see what happens.
Righto, James. Good luck. Every caller on the show today wins a ticket in tonight's Powerball as well. Good luck. Are you ready to put your pool floaties to work? Start planning the ultimate summer getaway with whatif.com.
Find hotels and holiday rentals plus family-friendly resorts. Just jump on the What If app.
What If? It's Aussie for travel. This is an amazing story. A woman by the name of Amanda Trenfield, she'd been with her husband for 14 years. They worked together, but they were struggling a little bit in their marriage. And Amanda explained how the whirlwind romance began when she was on a work trip with her husband. They were trying to reconnect with each other, right? So they're on a work trip, work, a bit of play, and they said, well, why don't we go out for a romantic dinner?
Amanda hug and kiss.
Let's go down to the hotel and we can have, a few wines.
Oh, yeah. Get the oysters, maybe a bottle of champagne to start with and really start to lube things up.
Anyway, while they were waiting for their table, they met a guy at the bar. His name was Jason. They chatted to him.
Yeah, Jason.
He ended up coming over at the end of their dinner before he said, why don't we go for a drink later on? And both of them went to the bar. Amanda's husband was a little bit tired, so he said, I might go to bed. And she said, well, I'm not really tired yet, so I'll just stay down here. And
What, just her and Jason? Amanda and Jason?
I'll just have a drink with Jason.
Have Amanda in.
Amanda said, he ordered my favourite rosé.
Oh, my God.
He didn't know that, but he ordered it. And during the course of that evening, we just stayed talking. There was a depth of connection I had never felt before.
What, not even with the first guy?
The next day, Amanda then approached Jason in the hotel and discussed her feelings for him. They shared a quick kiss together.
Jeez.
She said, I opened the conversation with, I felt strange and very connected to you last night. And he said, I felt the same way. He was there in those moments and felt the connection like I did. He felt the kiss like I did. But he decided to say no and move forward with his life without looking back.
Well, so he should.
She said, as he was leaving, we enjoyed a body-hugging embrace where I whispered into his ear, this isn't over. I need to see you again. She's come in like a wrecking ball. Wow. He put his hands tightly on my waist and pulled me close.
Oh, that's hot.
Yes, he replied.
Yeah.
It was all I needed to hear. I had never felt anything like this before.
Keep reading, I'm just pouring a drink.
I know now without hesitation, without question, without any doubt in my mind,
Yep.
my body or my heart, that the energy we experienced that evening was our souls connecting. Amanda then left her husband
What?
to follow her new soulmate.
Hang on a minute.
Wow.
I'm not joking.
Yeah, it's okay to have a friend. You can meet a friend as well. You can connect with someone and get on really well with them. It doesn't mean you have to drastically change your whole life and leave your husband.
This is the thing,
I don't
though.
know about Amanda.
Jason ghosted her.
Oh, no.
She left.
What do you mean?
She left her husband for 14 years and said, Jason, I'm devoted to you. Jason went missing, mate. He's still on the run.
Last thing heard was Amanda yelling out, Jason!
It's a good lesson on being a
Jason!
Keno, isn't it?
Oh, don't be a Keno.
She's written a
No.
memoir. It's called When a Soulmate Says No.
Are you serious?
Yeah, and one of the
But I
comments...
feel like we know the whole story.
One of the,
Yeah, I reckon.
one of the comments was, this is simultaneously the worst and greatest thing I've ever read.
Chapter 2, looking for Jason. Chapter 3, anyone seen Jason? Chapter 4,
Still haven't found him.
Jason!
This is what I want to know.
Oh, it's not Jason Jackson.
Jason
is it?
Jackson.
It's not Jason Jackson at all, because
Hey, man.
he's
Hey.
devoted to
I'll
Michael.
I think it's, and you know what? The husband, who's now just hanging out there, all on his lonesome, he's had a win here.
Without a
Because
doubt.
if this girl could wander off after one night of a bit of chat at the bar, see you later, mate. You're doing something wrong at home, and she's not interested.
Nah, do you take her back, though?
No, you did not take her back.
Why not? Because she
next
may have
time,
just had
Sarah,
a moment.
Next
She
time
was
you-
overpowered.
You introduce her to somebody and they're there. Hey, I want you to meet my new mate from work. This is Steve. I'm just going to go to the bathroom. You'd be panicking.
It's a free kick for
Panicking.
the husband, Sarah. You got to admit that. It's
Well,
his chance to
yeah.
get out.
I know, and he would feel pretty good about himself at this point, wouldn't he? Being able to say to her, up yours. it fell apart.
She's going to feel like a sucker, though, because she's been sucked into this moment.
This is what
where, you know what, Jason's probably doing it to the next girl that he's met.
Yeah, exactly.
You're a weapon, Jason.
This is what I want to know. If you've been in a relationship before and your partner has left you for someone else and then you found out afterwards that they got ghosted, I mean, it must be a pretty good
Oh,
feeling.
it'd be beautiful, wouldn't it?
Without doubt.
No, you go, honey. You go.
They've left you for them, and then they found out that relationship did not work at all. It just fell over straight away. They've made the wrong decision, should have stayed with you.
Suck on that.
Fatini in Bankstown. What happened, Fatini?
So my husband of 10 years had 2 kids, cheated on me with a bird from overseas,
Yeah.
than her, had 3 kids with her,
Oh, my God.
came back to Australia, waiting for her to come back. She never came back. She cheated on him, and he raised the other 3 kids.
Oh,
No way.
Was he still
yes,
involved
mate.
with your kids, Fatini?
No, he only saw them twice. My daughter's just reconnected with him.
Okay.
Only for the half sisters, basically, because she wanted to. She's like the eldest of all the siblings.
Fatini, that's really tough. That must have been one hell of a ride for you.
Yeah, I was. I met him when I was 18, so it was really tough.
Fatini, have you had a chance to have a look around and maybe find someone else?
I met someone in 2016.
Yeah.
Went out for 2 years, and then unfortunately other people got involved, and I've just reconnected with him.
Oh, great.
Have another swing at it.
Fatini, did you feel sad for him when his new wife left him, or was there an element of...
Yeah, no, I didn't. You know, one thing I really, really would like to tell everyone that's listening is that parents, anyone who separates or divorces, please don't take it out on the children.
No.
I wanted him to have a relationship with his kids.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the culture this girl came from, in a Pacific island,
Didn't allow that.
It didn't allow him to talk to his ex.
Yeah.
He doesn't understand. And so the kids are now get therapy, whatever it is. They're smart enough. They've done well, thank God. They've gone to university. One's studying to be a paramedic.
Wow.
But
Okay.
still, the kids are the ones that suffer.
Well said, Fatini. Jeez, that's a roller coaster story, isn't it?
Well, it hasn't finished either. There's another
Still
chapter to
going.
that story,
Well,
Fatini.
will find love.
Call us back in 3 years' time and give us an update,
She knows
Fatini.
commitment. Emily in Penrith, what happened to your parents' relationship, Em?
Good morning. So my mum cheated on my dad when we were in high school.
Yeah.
And mum's mum ended up leaving with that guy. And they were together for about 3 months and it all fizzled out. And Dad was like, nah, see you later. And my dad's now been remarried happily to someone else for 17 years. And my mum's still old and lonely. So
So only 3 months after your mum left, she then was coming back to Dad going, I've made a horrible mistake. Can you have me back?
Yep.
Oh.
And Dad was like, nah.
But that's so tough. Like,
that is
people
tough.
make mistakes.
Sarah,
I know.
It's
but
hard.
Hey, Em, did your mum know, did your dad know the guy that your mum cheated with?
Yeah, so he was actually my dad's colleague.
Oh, that stings.
Taking your home life into work?
So did Dad still have to work with him?
No, so Mum and this guy moved 2 hours south.
Yep.
To start a new life, and then obviously realised that it wasn't as exciting living together as,
What did you say? He's had 3 months of it and said, I've made a terrible mistake here. I'm sorry. I know you've left your husband for me, but I just can't do this.
Yeah.
And imagine the moment too, Em, where your mum was with this other guy's 2 hours south, and she went, "Oh no, this isn't working."
Yeah.
You know, he's just got drunk and fallen asleep on the toilet with half a pizza in his hand.
Can I just say-
And she's seen him and gone, "Oh no."
Em, as well, as a teenager, the emotions that would have been running through your mind as well, did it affect your relationship with your mum?
Oh, absolutely. As you can probably tell by my tone of voice regarding this. I mean, I was 13. I just started high school. So my mum basically took off just as my sisters and I were hitting puberty and stuff, and we're still pretty angry about it.
How old are you, Em?
I'm 30 now.
Yeah, because often these things are passed down to their kids. So
No,
how many guys have you cheated on
Emily, not do that.
I think I've learnt what not to do.
Oh, right. Sorry, I've gone the wrong way.
You're in the running for 10K Day in October. You've got a ticket to the Powerball tonight for 160 mil. And, guys...
Does Em want to play Last Man Standing as well, Tom, or is that outside the T's and C's?
Outside the T's and C's.
Sorry, Em.
Do you know what?
Great story.
I'm giving Em a Fitzy and Whip $100 gift card as well that you can spend at the Iconic. How's that, Em?
Hey, how good's that? That's really cool. Thank you.
Every cloud, mate.
Every cloud.
You had to go through all of that to get the $100 Iconic voucher, but every cloud.
And that's that's the moral of the story for any listener out there. If you can get your mum to leave your dad, you can get a $100 gift card on the Fitzy.
All right.
The Fitzy and Whipper podcast.
Lights, camera, clarity.
Ooh, Sarah.
The top trending stories in entertainment this morning. Fitzy, get ready because Rihanna has new music.
Whoa!
She has confirmed a new song for the Black Panther soundtrack. She's put up a sample on her Instagram this morning. Look, it doesn't give you much. I'm going to play it for you, but it doesn't give you much. It's just her sort of harmonising. It's obviously going to be a solemn record. They're saying, obviously, the next Black Panther will be quite beautiful. A lot of tributes, to the actor who played... what's his name? Boseman.
Jason Boseman.
Chadwick Boseman.
Chadwick,
sorry.
that's it.
Who played the Black Panther and passed away. Anyway, have a listen. This is all we've got so far.
Classic Rihanna. That is.
Hey, I mean, I know that this wait has been a long time coming, Fitz. I actually love the sound of that.
Too long between drinks.
I really like the sound of that.
What is positive about this is A, there's new music, but B, given she's doing Super Bowl, you would have to presume her own music is right behind.
It would make sense. Like, there's a double album to follow.
See, we
Taylor Swift
do
style.
know, though, that she's off music, isn't she? I don't think we'll see her tour again.
Mate, it's back.
Mate,
I think
she's
she
got
will.
$1 billion beauty line.
Yeah, but so do lots of other people, and
I
they still
agree.
like Jessica Alba still acts, and she's got $1 billion.
Does she? Name the
she
last
does.
movie Jessica Alba was in.
It's a great point.
It is a great point.
There's so many of them.
They're
I was gonna say
billionaires,
Jessica
mate.
Simpson.
They're billionaires. They don't need to work for it anymore. This is the thing. And touring takes a lot out of you.
Says I love the sound of it. Lock that in.
Yeah.
More Rihanna on the way.
I do too. I'm holding out hope there'll be more to come. Hey, Kanye West has lashed out at Howard Stern. I'm surprised it's taken him this long. So remember last week I played you that audio where Howard made a good point. If Kanye's so mentally unwell, how come there's no conservatorship like there was for Britney? How come there aren't people stepping in to help him in the same way? Howard wasn't being too flattering about Kanye, but it was a decent point. Anyway, Kanye's done a podcast and he's had a real crackback.
Howard Stern, nobody wants to kiss to shut the up. By the way, I'm antagonizing you, Howard Stern. I used to be a fan of you. Now you're just doing clickbait like everybody else. Now you're just a sad old man, Howard.
All right.
Now, Howard Stern, this is the first time anyone's said your name in years. Your own family doesn't say your name unless they're calling to get their bills paid.
Do you know what? I watched about 7 or 8 minutes yesterday of the Piers Morgan interview.
Oh, yes.
I've never seen anything like it in my life.
Mate, it's
like it was. And, for two people that can talk so much, Piers and also Kanye West, and I was a fan, and I say I was a fan. It's
horrific.
It is horrendous.
It's a bit rich for Kanye to say that it was clickbait. Howard's just trying to get clickbait when you're just clickbait central,
And
mate.
that's what he's doing now.
You rocked up to your daughter's basketball game with a White Lives Matter T-shirt on.
I mean,
What are you searching for, mate?
Hasn't this guy said enough? Hasn't he at one stage, there hasn't been a moment where he said, for the past month or so, I've been on a fair tirade.
So,
I might just sit down for a moment.
So, did he mention Adidas at all and getting cut from Adidas in the podcast? No, he hasn't.
No,
he
but
hasn't
how
spoken.
about all these other stores, even the discount stores, TK Maxx, for example, which we now have in Australia but is big in the States, all those discount stores where they sell designer gear, they've all dropped all of his products as well, even they won't sell it. And Google searches for the phrase "sell Yeezy" skyrocketed 581% on Wednesday after the Adidas news.
He corrects Piers Morgan when he refers to him as a billionaire. And he said, I'm not a billionaire, I have billions. Not just 1 billion, I have billions.
Well, not anymore, apparently.
Well, then Forbes reported that he'd lost $1.5 billion.
Phenomenal,
What an idiot.
isn't it? Finally, guys, this is kind of funny. So Martha Stewart, people for some reason always made this assumption that she and Pete Davidson had a little bit of a relationship thing. Or
Martha
that there was some
Stewart?
flirting. Martha Stewart. So whenever Kim Kardashian and Pete were around, they would have photos with her. They're all friendly. Martha Stewart was on the Kardashians a few weeks ago.
What's the age difference there?
Oh, that's a great question. It would be significant. I'll look into it while you listen to Martha Stewart's response. So she's playing a game with Drew Barrymore. They have flags, a green, a yellow and a red, like traffic lights. Drew Barrymore throws a name out, and the idea is that Martha Stewart, who says, I've been single for 30 years, she has to wave a flag as to whether or not she'd date that celebrity. Pete Davidson comes up. She very enthusiastically waves the green flag and then says this.
He's dated so many women.
So what?
No, I'm not saying that's bad. I think that's good. And he's sort of cute.
Everybody loves him.
I know everybody loves him. I know him. He was on the Beaver roast with me. Do you remember?
Yes.
He was this little twerp on the Beaver roast.
But everybody speaks about Pete Davidson in such a positive way. Like, he has to be a good guy.
Oh, he is a good guy. He's a very good guy. And he knows how to get in and get out.
I know.
Age
And
difference
how's
says?
this? 28 is Pete Davidson. Martha Stewart, 81.
Never too late, done, Martha.
Never
What a
too
goer.
late to get in and out, Martha
The
Stewart.
Fitzy and Whipper podcast.
I want to hear from you, 13 24 10. Yep, I live there. Now, these are conditions where you might have been struggling for money at the time. You wanted to save a bit of money. Did you go back to a family member's house? Where did you... I had a mate. My grandfather lived in a housing trust unit where it was only one room, Sarah. In that one room was his bed, the kitchen and the lounge room.
It was a studio.
Right, so this area at Christie Downs where we grew up, I had a mate who went and lived, to save money, went and lived for a few weeks with his auntie in one of those units, and he slept on her couch. She slept in the bed, he slept on the couch to save money. He was there for a year. Wow. And I was like, how can you do that, man? He goes, you get used to it.
No, you don't.
You get used to
Like
it.
that apartment we were talking about last week where the toilet was in the kitchen.
Oh,
You know, you
Disgusting.
could cook your eggs and do a poo at the same time.
the bathtub. I didn't know bathtubs next to beds were so popular.
At the end of the bed, sometimes you see that.
The New York City apartment is a guy called Alex Verhag. He's 23 years of age. He pays $1,750 per month, and the width of his apartment is his arm span. The thing is, he can fit a bed in there, but he can't stretch out fully.
In the bed?
In the bed. He has to sleep diagonally in the bed
You're in a bunker.
to really stretch out his whole body.
You see this a lot in New York where the apartments are so tight. I mean, they have the biggest Salvation Army store in the world in New York because no one has any space to store anything outside of the crucial things they need. And a mate of mine, Brad Blanks, in the apartment he lives in, he can't sit on the toilet and shut the door. Oh. So he
Why
has his
have
legs.
a door on it then?
Well, says I think his wife can, but he is such a big guy at 6'5". He has his legs hanging out the door of the bathroom, which goes into the living room when he sits on the toilet.
So Alex has no kitchen, no toilet or shower. He shares those. He has to use all those communal facilities.
You're in a prison cell.
Well, it basically is. He's got a makeshift cooktop. So he's got one of those little, one of the ways that you take away camping.
More a BBQ.
So he says, I just cook pasta in there. I just drain the pasta into one basin, which is communal. And that's how I do my pasta.
Hot.
He said, I don't mind it. He goes, you got to look at it. He takes a glass half full approach and says, make sure that you're grateful for the things that you do have, not the things that you don't have.
A little bit awkward if he was to meet somebody and invite them back to the apartment. You want to come back to my place? If you get into bed and you can't actually fit in the bed. I mean, we're better off on the floor, I think.
Yeah,
Why?
I see.
We don't fit in the bed.
I've moved into a couple of apartments that had no furniture at all, and you become lazy and you leave it for a while and you just throw a mattress on the ground. You actually get used to sleeping on
I
the
did
ground.
that. In my first radio gig, I was in a town called Port Augusta, and you know it well, Fitz, because it's South Australian, and I slept on a single mattress that was on the floor. I had the cops on speed dial because the neighbours were a bit questionable. I didn't have a couch, so what I did is I bought a king-size doona cover, and I hand-sewed a zip into it and filled it with beans. So I had a huge bean bag.
That's quite clever, Whips.
What do you mean?
What do you mean? What do I mean?
So how big was the beanbag?
Massive.
King size.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah.
So I had this huge beanbag in the living room and a TV, and that was the year
That was
you were
your
in
lounge.
Yeah, that was my lounge. That was the year that you were in Big Brother, and I was so out of town they didn't even have it on TV.
So you
I missed out on the greatest series of Big Brother ever, BBO4, yeah?
didn't miss out on much, mate. All right, 13, 24, 10. What were your living conditions? Yep, I did live there to save a little bit of money.
Anna in Freshwater, what were your living conditions?
So I had an apartment that had no windows to natural light.
Oh.
And to make matters worse, the bedroom that I had a light on permanently. So we had a blockout blind put on, but
I had to sleep with an eye mask every single night.
Oh, my God, I know.
There for quite some time, but it was in my young 20s. It was a great time. It was a great time to go out, party, come back into this place. The whole apartment was pitch dark. And, it was great for hangovers.
Oh,
yeah.
My room.
I didn't think you could legally build an apartment without any windows. I thought there needed to be X amount of natural light. Oh, my God.
Yeah, I don't know how they got that one across the line. I'm actually working in the construction industry, so, it definitely did not
right. And then when you turned up and people said, my God, look at what she's wearing. Did she get dressed in the dark? Yep, she did.
See, ventilation.
The lights had to be turned on to get dressed.
Oh my God.
The ventilation would be horrible.
You're
too.
right.
Just the place
We
would
had
stink.
aircon, so that helped. But when you had a few people in there and started drinking and whatnot, it was fun.
Good effort.
You had a nightclub straight away.
Good on you,
Well done,
Anna.
Anna. Well done. Tommy in DY, what were your living conditions, Tom?
Mine was in London in a share home, a 4-bedroom share home, but we had 10 people in there.
Oh, that happens a bit, doesn't it, Tom?
Exactly. So the bedroom I was in had one single on the ground, a double bed, and then basically a swag on the other side.
Oh, God.
So the whole room was mattresses, and you got to rotate whatever bed you're in as soon as you walked in the door.
Oh, yuck. And, Tommy, quite often those houses, those little townhouses, only have one bathroom.
Well, that's it. That's it. So there was a lot of friendships were made in that house.
I bet there was. A girl I know in a situation like that, Tom, you wouldn't believe it. There was a line-up for the bathroom and she had to do number 2s and ended up finding a plastic bag.
Oh, that's disgusting.
That's how desperate it got.
A door on the wall.
Mate, Lisa would not like you to tell that story on air. Tommy, was it a party home? Did you have a few house parties there?
Yeah, some of the rooms did, but it was it's a party all the time when you got 10 people walking around at all different hours.
Imagine just rotating the beds as well.
Imagine the partner swapping.
I've got the friggin' swag tonight. I got a big day at work tomorrow and I've got the swag.
Steve-O was in it with the girl he brought back from the pub last night.
You're just a sick man.
The Fitzy and Whipper podcast.
Do you know what? We're only a few weeks away. We only worked this out yesterday. From Fitzy and Whipper's pub crawl.
I'm glad you brought it up, mate.
Awesome.
Love to have a beer with Duncan. Love to have a beer with Steve, Jane, Sally, Craig and Wayne. I'll have a drink with anybody because we try and visit as many pubs on our pub tour as we possibly can. Good to announce that this morning it will be making a return on the 11th of November, Fitz. Bit
It's
of
a
a
Friday.
bad,
That's a Friday.
That's a Friday. That's a lock-in. Bit of a bad start yesterday. I mean, I was so excited about today's announcement, I just couldn't help myself. When we spoke to Eva Mendes, she joined us on the show. I threw this out there. We would like to extend the invitation. If you would like to join us somewhere on our Midlife Crisis pub tour for 2022, what do you think?
Never.
Another honest answer.
Not in my most desperate hour.
So she's
bad start.
So
She's a maybe.
You're saying it's a maybe.
It's a maybe. She doesn't know. She's torn. Doesn't mean Ryan Gosling won't come along, Fitz.
No.
We haven't actually asked him. I reckon he'd love a pub tour. Now, last year, the Fitzy and Whipper Midlife Crisis, 36 pubs.
Well, don't clap yourself because we were pretty far off the record.
Who could remember, or who couldn't forget, the shoey that I did, which was great because you went and bought a old man slipper from a second-hand salvo store.
Shop.
Yeah, that was awesome, mate. I got a couple of fur balls down the throat. I'm so glad we're able to announce this for November 11, mate. This is going to be massive. We want to get to as many pubs as possible across Sydney. So it's going to be bigger and better than last year. We had a couple of restrictions last year because COVID was still floating around. So, I mean, one of the issues we had, Fitz, we couldn't tell people where we were going. Now we were able to go, hey, by the way, at 1 o'clock, we're rolling into the Rouse Hill.
Well, even the AHA's got in contact with us, Australian Hotels Association, and they've said, look, we'd love to help you out this time. I mean, there's no restrictions this time. You know what? We might even be able to leave a few bar tabs behind.
Yeah.
For people that are drinking at their local.
This is going to be the greatest celebration of pubs across Sydney you've ever seen.
It is, you know what, pubs are and hotels are a great form of escape sometimes when you just want to get away from home and family or taking your family down there. I mean, my local, the East Village in Balmain, you can take your dog in there and eat.
How good is that?
They feed your dog in the pub.
Do you know what I'd love?
The best.
I'd love people to be listening right now going, Friday the 11th, I think I've got a team lunch on at the pub. Right. Well, you need to pick up the phone, 13 24 10, and give us a call right now because we'll roll in and see you.
Jason in Colby. Good morning, Jace.
I can't believe you guys are doing this again.
Colby, we're so pumped, mate.
It's Jason.
Not Colby.
Sorry,
It's not
mate.
Colby.
Sorry,
It's He's from Colby.
I'd love to have a beer with you at the Mean Fiddler at Rouse.
I reckon you'd be the meanest fiddler getting around.
You would have been Greg.
Oh, Jesus.
We've done a couple of things at the Mean Fiddler. And, Jace, I tell you what, it's a massive establishment, that one, isn't it?
Oh, it is. It's an awesome place.
How often do you head to the pub, Colby?
Haven't been there for a while.
Right.
Okay.
What's the signature dish at the Mean Fiddler, Jace?
I have no idea.
Oh, well, you just say a palmy. That's
Go
all.
there for food.
Yeah, exactly. Chicken schnitzel. That's all you need to do.
Jason, do you think you could round the boys up or get a few people together and head to your favourite pub and we can drop in and see you?
No worries. Well, it's the Mean Fiddler.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
So your photo isn't up on the wall there? We're going to be all right to go in there with you, Jace?
Or there's the Edamoga pub.
Oh, yeah, the Edamoga, yep.
Bit of novelty.
Jace,
All right, stay off the gaspers. Thanks very much, Colby.
Without a doubt, he would have had a few 2-year bands over the years, I reckon.
2
Jace.
years.
Danielle in Penrith, any suggestions for us?
Yeah, why don't we all come with you and then last person standing wins 10K.
Oh, that's a good idea.
We're open to all prizes, ideas of prizes and surprises, Danielle. What's your favourite pub?
My favourite pub?
Yeah.
I have to suggest the Edamoga as well.
All right.
Do you know what? We presented the awards at the AH Awards the other night, and I tell you what, Edamoga Pub, that was up there a few times.
Yeah, there's some huge awards handed out the other night. Do you know the thing is too? I mean, we got to beat our record. I mean, we started at 8 a.m. I remember having our first schooner at 8 a.m. and I went, oh God, this tastes good. As the day wore on, I got a little bit sleepy. We had to pump through, mate. At one stage, we had a vodka Red Bull, and then we moved on. We kept going.
We're drinking responsibly. That's what we have to say.
I've mentioned two drinks.
You can have liquid at other non-alcoholic at the pubs too.
Awesome.
Justin in Dural. What pub should we go to, Justin?
Oh, mate, you've got to get the lads and everyone out to the Victor in Dural.
The Victor?
It's been renovated and rebuilt over the last couple of years, and it's finally COVID-free, and it is a great place for a coldie.
Okay, the Victor in Dural. Writing it down.
Will you come and meet us, Justin?
Absolutely, Whip. I'll be there with my bells and whistles on.
Just in time for a drink.
It's after 5 o'clock somewhere in the world, so any time's good.
Best thing you've said all day, Justin.
Well done, Justin. We did learn a lot from last year, which is great going into this one, but we want you to get involved. We'll keep you updated over the next couple of weeks, but if you've got any pubs or bar suggestions or signature dishes that we need to hear about, go to the Fitzy and Whipper Instagram account and you can DM us now. We'd love to come and see you.
The Fitzy and Whipper Show is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcast.com.au.